Alright, okay, so here's what we got. First thing I wanted to mention, I finally repainted my blade head. You can see it's still got a little bit of weathering on there, and, some shading. I don't know if you can really see it in this light, actually. It's kind of bleaching it up, but yeah, he looks a lot better. Before, I recognized that there was something that I needed to do with him to get him to look better, more close to the movie. But, I wasn't sure what, and then I figured it out, and I repainted him. So now I can paint blade heads, which is a good thing. Anyway, now you may be wondering, what the heck is this? Like, I don't remember Blade having this giant, weird mechanism on his arm in the movies. What are you doing, Jack? Or you may not be wondering that at all. But allow me to explain. This is in, Puppet Master 1. A friend of mine brought this to my attention and said, hey, Jack, it would be really cool if you made your blade with one of these. When he's swinging down out of the elevator at the very end of the movie, his sleeve falls down his arm a little bit, and you see that the reason there is 4 screws, which I have out of his hand at the moment, the reason there's 4 screws there is because they're attached to 4 rods that go all the way up his arm. Now, the original reasoning behind that was that that was part of the rod puppet, and it would allow them to move his hand with those rods, and so on and so forth. However, the rods actually remain there during other scenes. So, and you can see it in Puppet Master 4? At one point he gets thrown against the wall by a totem, and you see his arm slide out of his coat a little bit. So, anyway, so I contacted V via cross of AndreToulon.com and was like, hey V, I designed this mechanism, can you make it for me? And he was like, he was really helpful, pointed out some flaws in the mechanism I had designed, and actually did a complete overhaul of the design, really took his time and made it awesome. And so what he came up with, and what I eventually ended up getting in the mail, was this awesome piece right here. And it plugs right into the back of the little metal wrist piece that I make. So the basic thing of the design was, so he's got these 4 rods, and they got to connect somewhere up his arm, but that might impede wrist movement. So that's where this mechanism comes in, up here. This is actually almost a ball joint kind of deal. So if you watch, try to do this one-handed, it will rotate up and down, and then also the cool thing is, if you reach under his, not under his coat, but through his coat, you can also move the wrist, and this is really cool. I was really excited to see this. You can move the wrist from under his coat, and then it also rotates with the arm, like that. So if you twist it all the way around, and then it'll, oh, popped off there. But yeah, so it does not impede wrist movement hardly at all. You can see how nice that moves. It's just so smooth. And then also, that's not the mechanism you hear, by the way. That's the I just have it glued on right now, but V was kind enough to include for me, where are they? Oh, here. V was kind enough to include these holes, you can see, and you would put these screws in before you assembled the mechanism, but I really wanted to put it together to show it off in the video and see how it worked. This is actually a hole. Let me see if I can get it a little better into, there we go. This is actually a countersunk hole for a screw that you can put in there and it'll sit tight and it won't move around. I also wanted to make sure that the thing was in exactly the right position. So yeah, this is really cool. And my favorite part about this is if you're showing off the replica and the people that you're showing it to don't know what this mechanism is or does, then you can make his arm or his hook hand move with that mechanism. So it's really cool. You can like have him wave to them or something, or it's kind of hard to twist because of the way the ball joints work. I mean, it's not hard for it to twist, but you kind of have to rotate the wrist. But yeah. It's super cool, and I'm really happy with how it came out, and I can't recommend it enough. This is, so again, this is made by AndreToulon.com. I haven't painted it yet. I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on the arms here, but you don't even really need to do that. I've heard you can polish this kind of plastic, because it's actually got real aluminum in it. This was the same stuff that he was making his weapons out of. So the hook and knife, he had an option to make them out of this. I don't remember what he was calling it, but anyway, it's plastic with real aluminum fibers in it. That's actually what my hook is made out of, and I have it painted at the moment. Also, I wanted to talk about, he has these new square shank hooks, is what he calls them, and you can make them out of steel for you, and they'll be really cool. The other thing is, this knife I have on him right now is not an Andre Toulon knife. This is actually a knife I found on eBay. You can contact me about availability of these, because I've got to order a part from V to really clamp the knife in there, because it's just kind of sitting in there right now. You can contact me about availability of these. They'll be like $40 a piece. And I've got a sketch drawn out on there of what the knife is going to look like, but it's kind of got smudged around. I don't know, but anyway. But yeah, really cool. The only thing about this is it's a little bit sharp. I can probably grind it down for you and make it not as sharp, but yeah. So the plan is with this knife is to grind it along these edges, and then it'll have the perfect profile that it does in the movie. So yeah, so I'm offering these very nice knives now, and I wanted to just say these are very dangerous, so yeah, make sure they're secured and out of reach of kids or whatever, because they are pretty sharp. And again, I can grind the edge off for you, so it still looks like a real metal knife, but it's not sharp. It will still be pointy, so keep pointy objects away from small children. That's all I gotta say on that. But yeah, so, and upcoming soon, I was working with V on an eye mechanism for excuse me, like I said, it's morning. I've been working on a blade eye mechanism with V, and it's really cool. He's working on a way right now to make it inside the head. There'll probably be like a little hatch on the back of the head or something, so you can put the springs in, and yeah. The one I ordered is with steel eye spikes, and those are going to be sharp, and I got to figure out a way to push those back into the head. Maybe using a pair of chopsticks or something. But yeah, it's going to be really cool, and I'm going to try to rig up something to where when I open the jaw, it pulls the little lever and the eye spikes pop out, and it'll be awesome. But again, yeah. So, yeah, contact V about this. It's really cool. I forget how much he was selling them for at this moment. But yeah, definitely contact him about this. You will really love it. It's a really cool thing. I've only seen one other blade that had something similar to this, and that was my buddy that actually said, "Hey, Jack, did you happen to notice this scene in Puppet Master 1 and in Puppet Master 4, I think, where you can see these control rods up Blade's sleeve?" And yeah, that's the only other place I've seen one of these mechanisms. And again, it just moves so beautifully. I mean, it comes in all the parts. It comes in all the parts, so it's, let's see here, 1, 2, 4. I'm looking like an idiot now. My brain can't math in the morning. But anyway, it comes in all separate parts. So these 4 things that plug into the wrist, the 2 rings, and then the 4 rods. So what is that? 10 parts? It's a little 10-part kit. But anyway. Yeah, definitely contact him about that. You will not be disappointed. It moves, like, it moves so beautifully. And the thing, I mean, honestly, I pulled it out of the box, snapped it together, and glued it to his arm. And that's how easy it was. I didn't have to do any sanding on the ball joints, anything. It was really awesome. Anyway, this has been Jack with Circus of the Dead Productions. All that exciting news for you. This might be the second of 2 videos, or it might be the end of one longer video. Not sure, because the way YouTube has been treating me lately. But yeah. So, have a good day, and more updates soon.